A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. Jesus went to the Mount of Olives, but early in the morning he arrived again in the temple area, and all the people started coming to him, and he sat down and taught them. Then the scribes and the Pharisees brought a woman who had been caught in adultery and made her stand in the middle. They said to him, "Teacher, this woman was caught in the very act of committing adultery. Now in the law, Moses commanded us to stone such women. So what do you say?" They said this to test him, so that they could have some charge to bring against him. Jesus bent down and began to write on the ground with his finger. But when they continued asking him, he straightened up and said to them, "Let the one among you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone at her." Again, he bent down and wrote on the ground. And in response, they went away, one by one, beginning with the elders. So he was left alone with the woman before him. Then Jesus straightened up and said to her, "Woman, where are they? Has no one condemned you?" She replied, "No one, sir." Then Jesus said, "Neither do I condemn you. Go, and from now on, do not sin anymore." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Good morning. We are now in the 5th Sunday of Lent. Next Sunday is Palm Sunday, and of course the Sunday after that is Easter Sunday. Time flies. Time flies. Can't believe it. We're already almost over with Lent. So we come to this beautiful narrative of the woman caught in adultery, and this is a very, very, very well-known gospel passage, as the prodigal son is a very well-known passage. Here in our gospel today, the focus is on Jesus, of course, the woman, and then the Pharisees and the scribes. But Jesus deals first with the Pharisees and the scribes who come to him really to test him. They are more focused on testing Jesus so they can find him and trap him so they can bring a case against him. They are more concerned about that than they are about the law, the breaking of the law, adultery. And they come to him with this woman, and they say this woman was caught in the very act of adultery. And his response doesn't respond. He writes with his finger on the ground. And again, Jesus, this woman was caught in the very act of adultery. And then he writes again with his finger. What is Jesus writing on the ground with his finger? No one really knows. There are speculation that maybe he is writing the sins of the people who are gathered there. That's just one speculation. But then he responds, "Let the one among you who has not sinned be the first to cast the stone." And one by one, they leave. One by one, beginning with the elders. Now we come to the woman. So the Pharisees and scribes have heard what Jesus has to say. Now the focus is on the woman caught in adultery. And when I read this, the first thing that comes to my mind, where is the man? Where is the man? She did not commit that sin alone. Where is the man? Where is the man? Because according to law, if I'm not mistaken, according to the Mosaic law, both should be stoned. So where is the man? That's the first thing. But how is this woman feeling to be caught in a sinful act? She's feeling shame, fear. She's humiliated. She's mortified. She's anxious. She's probably weeping because she's going to be stoned. Look at the crowd of this church here today. Can you imagine being in the center here with people ready to stone you? How does Jesus address the woman? He asks her a question. Where are they? Where are they? Has no one condemned you? And her response, no one, sir, no one. And then he responds, neither do I condemn you. Neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more. He acknowledges that she has sinned, because he says sin no more, so he's acknowledging that. But there is no shaming and no judging. And we go back to the Pharisees and scribes. How did Jesus respond to them when they came to him? He didn't chastise them or rebuke them. He did not say, get out of here. Who do you think you are? You hypocrites. Did Jesus respond that way? No. He could have. But he makes a very simple statement. He turns the tables. He among you who has not sinned, cast the first stone. That's all he says. And they all leave one by one because they know they are sinners. They know they are sinners. And so our gospel passage, how does our gospel passage relate to us here in beautiful Danville, California on a beautiful sunny day? What does the gospel have to do with me? How does it apply to my life? Well, I'll begin with the word caught. Getting caught. We are sinners. We are all sinners, including Father Mark. We are all sinners. And we all sin. And just think about this past week. What sin did I commit maybe this morning? Maybe last night. We sinned. Maybe last week. We committed a sin. But we did not get caught. We didn't get caught. Like this woman got caught. Can you imagine getting caught in your sin? We caught you in the very act, just like they said. We caught her in the very act. If that were happened to us, you were caught in the very act. And pardon my pointing. What if you got caught? 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 Way over there in the corner. What if you got caught in your sin? And on top of that, getting caught is one thing, but they're making that sin public. Everybody in the town knows your business. How would you feel? How would you feel being caught and then having your sin made public? This is something that we should think about before we think about other people. Not only their sins, but in general. How many times do we call other people out? He did this, she did that, he's this, he's that, she's this, she's that. Remember that old expression, look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. The other thing that comes to my mind as I reflected on this gospel is casting stones. Casting stones. Let the one among you who is without sin cast the first stone. Let the one among you who has never cheated be the first to throw a stone. Let the one among you or among us who has ever had a loose relationship with the truth be the first to throw a stone. Let the one among us who has been dishonest throw the stone. Let the one among us who has gossiped be the first to throw a stone. Let the one among us who has shamed someone be the first to throw a stone. Let the one among us who has taken something that does not belong to him be the first to throw a stone. Let the one among us who has never talked about somebody and then smiled in their face be the first one to throw a stone. Third, Jesus, as we listen to the gospel carefully, the crowds, the scribes, and the Pharisees, everyone was against that woman. They judged her. They wanted to stone her. But the one person, the only person, was Jesus, who showed her compassion and mercy. He was the one who was there for her when everyone else was against her. He was the only one who was there for the woman when she was at the lowest moment in her life. Jesus was there, the only one. My brothers and sisters, we, you and I, can be that one person for someone else in their deepest moment in life, at their darkest moment in life, in their lowest moment of life. We can be that one person for someone else.